Joy?
I just want to point out that Taylor Swift has 283 million followers.
Oh.
And 1 million people have already liked that Instagram post. And
it already has 1 million likes, and it only came out during our interview with Tim Walsh?
Yep.
It happened a little before he came out, yes. And it's not even the first post she posted. She's posted like 3 other things since then. So Taylor Swift is not just a celebrity. She actually, commands a humongous squad of particularly young white women. And I think it's important to point that out, because one of the places that Democrats have never been able to do well is among white voters, even young white voters, even young white women. Dobbs has changed a lot. But you've also had people like Taylor Swift come in and culturally put forward a version of young womanhood that is super modern. And she has been relentlessly attacked by the J.D. Vance world as being a bad role model because she is unmarried. And so she now is leaning into the exact demographic that J.D. Vance relentlessly targets, that he relentlessly disrespects. And she commands so much popularity among her super fans that they've changed the NFL in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So it's not a small endorsement. It's a big deal.
And a lot of her fans are too young to vote and too young to buy concert tickets and don't have revenue streams to afford the concert tickets. So Taylor Swift's fandom is made up of her fans and their parents.
Yeah.
Their moms and their dads. And if there were ever a campaign and a candidacy tailor-made for a push for girl dads on choice, on eliminating exceptions for rape and incest, on the positive role model and leadership and humility and joy that Harris is bringing, this may be a sort of door swinging open for the girl dads for Harris.
Can I just say, as a hopeless bleeding heart liberal who's also an enormous football fan, I didn't think we were going to get football in the national divorce, but I with the Travis Kelce situation, I did not see that coming. But somehow we're sort of ending up with it, and I'm just going to say I will take it.
And note that Kendrick Lamar is going to be in New Orleans, and he's going to be the halftime show, and it's also a theme of the Harris campaign is they're not like us.
But in a real way, to your point about the Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce and that what that is sort of a pop cultural phenomenon. This idea of the sort of weirdness and extremism and J.D. Vance going on all these podcasts where in the manosphere where you talk about how the purpose of a postmenopausal woman and all this stuff, that it is really true that this sort of fringe weirdness is a huge part of what is the modern right, what is the Donald Trump coalition, and the RFK endorsement and all this stuff. And it is a strange cultural moment in which that is their play. Their play is the RFK vote and the Manosphere podcast, versus the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce.
It's the Argentina election.
J.D. Vance is the protege. The only jobs he has really ever had are as the protege of an eccentric right-wing German billionaire who says democracy should have never been attempted and everything's gone downhill since women had the right to vote.
Yeah.
That's the only person he's ever had jobs working for.
For real?
And that's who bought him his U.S. Senate seat, $15 million to give him that Senate seat. It's the only election he's ever run in. And they put him as vice president to Donald Trump. They could have picked somebody to normalize Donald Trump, but instead they picked the intern to the eccentric billionaire who doesn't believe in democracy and who spent a good part of his own political life trying to convince his fellow rich, eccentric right-wing billionaires that they should move to floating shipping containers in the middle of the sea because no land-based continent could contain their brilliance.
And by the way, he is now the person with the second closest finger on the button to a 78-year-old declining senior citizen who you can see right now is cognitively declining. And not only that, but they are running against the whole culture. It's Beyonce and Taylor Swift and Kendrick Lamar.
It's Budweiser and the NFL.
All of it.
It's all of it.
All of it.
But it's a 50-50 race. I mean, just I hate to wrench us back to reality, but it's literally a tied race.
Yes.
I've never been impressed by celebrity endorsements. I think they are helpful to the base that you already have. They tend to be people who the base already identifies with. This is someone who crosses it all. This is, I think, the most important celebrity endorsement we've ever seen in a presidential campaign, especially because it is so close and it can make that kind of difference. The Harris for President campaign now has the two most perfectly timed and most important endorsements of this campaign. Joe Biden's 27-minute timed endorsement after he said, I'm not the candidate. Perfect timing. It just put a rocket on her to the nomination. This, about 27 minutes after the end of the debate. And it's so important, I think, to the people who are going to be consuming that Taylor Swift endorsement, including those fathers of 8-year-old girls, and that she said, I watched the debate.
Yes.
I didn't decide this yesterday. This is a new candidate. It's a new candidate for all of us. And so I watched a more than 90-minute debate. I watched this candidate against the other candidate, and I thought about it, and here I am. And here's my endorsement. The timing on it is absolutely exquisite. The wording of it is flawless and perfect, right down to the cat lady stuff. It is, for someone who's never been impressed by a celebrity endorsement, this is perfect and powerful.
There is also something that is amazing non-bookends about the Taylor Swift endorsement and the Dick Cheney endorsement.
Yes.
I'm just going to say, same campaign.
It's a big coalition.
It's
big
a
coalition.
really big coalition.